Hi everybody and welcome. I'm going to teach you how to play Holbein, a blackwork themed embroidery game. In this game, you will be stitching patterns to complete commissions while building your sampler to impress the nobility. I'll walk you through the setup, how stitching works, how patterns are completed, and how you earn ribbons throughout the game. By the end, you'll be ready to start your own embroidery sampler. Blackwork embroidery became popular in England in the 1500s when Catherine of Aragon was queen. Using black silk stitched onto natural linen, embroiderers created intricate patterns that decorated collars, cuffs, and sleeves. In Holbein, you'll be recreating that same style of work, one stitch at a time, as you compete to complete commissions and earn ribbons. To set up for Holbein, each player gets a linen, a spool standee, 6 ribbons in a matching color, and a player aid card. You'll also need a pencil with an eraser, which is not included with the game. You're also going to lay out the board in the middle of the table, and on the number 5 space, you're going to lay out the knot token with your needlefolk sitting on top. Shuffle the 5 commission cards. You're going to keep 2 out of the game. The other 3, you flip up at the top of the board. These represent the commissions that the nobles are giving you, and you're going to need to complete 1 from each card to trigger the end of the game. Now that the table's ready, let's look at how you actually play Holbein. It takes place over multiple rounds, each with 3 phases. 1, you're going to buy or discard your pattern cards. 2, you're going to take actions. 3, you're going to reset your thread length for the next round. Everybody starts the game with 5 thread length. Actions cost different amounts throughout the game. To keep track, move your needlefolk down the thread length track. Note that your knot token stays put. It acts as a reminder for how much thread length you have at the beginning of next round. When you've spent as much thread length as you wish, and all 3 phases are complete, the round ends. Any unused thread length is lost. It doesn't get carried over. So plan your stitches carefully. Now that you know the rhythm of a round, let's take a look at what you actually can do with your thread length, starting with purchasing pattern cards and discarding pattern cards. Starting with the first player and moving clockwise, you may buy 1 pattern card, either from the deck or the discard pile, but you can only buy 1 per round. You may choose to buy a pattern card either from the pattern deck or the discard pile. It costs 2 thread length. Buy 2 cards, look at them both, add 1 to your hand, and discard the other. In this case, I'm going to take this heart shape and discard the other one. Note that you can only have a maximum of 4 patterns in your hand. If you ever exceed this amount, immediately discard down to 4 patterns. After buying pattern cards, you move into the actions phase. This can be done simultaneously, but if your group prefers, you can do it in turn order. There are 3 kinds of actions you can take. You can draw stitches on your embroidery sampler, you can buy access to a tool space, and you can use a tool. Let's go over that now. Buying a tool space is 3 thread length. Then you take your spool standee and you put it on the board on the tool you want to use. In this case, we're going to say it's the seam ripper. There's 6 spaces on the board that you can use: stitcher's memory, tapestry needle, seam ripper, scissors, loose ends, and bobbin of thread. I'll leave it up to you to discover in the rules how those all behave. You can use the tool the same round or a future round. To use it, you trigger the ability of the tool and you take your spool standee back and add it to your reserve. We need to cover stitching. It's a pretty important piece of the game. Every round, you must stitch at least 1 thread. Each thread costs you a thread length on your tracker, so don't forget to move your needlefolk down. Here's a pattern I've already started. When you're embroidering, have the mental image of a needle and thread going up and down through the fabric. Just like in real life, if you put your needle through a hole and you come back up the same way, you're going to undo your stitch. So keep that in mind. you're going to draw from one point to another, skipping spaces as you go. This kind of simulates having the thread cross on the back of your fabric. A stitch connects 2 points, either diagonally or orthogonally. Each stitch is also treated like a continuous thread during the round. So let's take a look at this pattern that we've already started. You can come back around and connect in a new turn so that it's a new thread. But I have to skip over and remember where this thread is coming up. And then come down and skip again to keep drawing. On a new turn though, you can start drawing somewhere else entirely because it's a new thread. Now, let's say you've gotten around and you're sitting here and you're drawing and you made a mistake, or for that matter, a couple of mistakes. This is where the tools really come to shine. They help you strategically and keep your embroidery nice and tidy. So we've already got the seam ripper. This would be a perfect time to come in and erase up to 4 stitches to clean up our work. If you ever get yourself in a pinch and you find you're needing to draw over a stitch again, that's okay. Just remember, you need to spend another thread length to cross back over if you've already drawn a line. At the end of the action phase, and everybody's spent the thread length that they wish to, you're going to reset the thread length. For example, blue now has 6 thread length as a reminder of where their knot token is. Red, on the other hand, is still at 5, so the needle folk sits on top for both. And that's it. That's how you reset for the round. The first player moves to the next person in turn order, and you take it all from the top again, starting off with buying your cards and taking your actions. Now that we've finished our first pattern, let's take a look. In order to be complete, the drawing needs to match the pattern card exactly. So for example, we have 2 stitches across the top, and all the way around, it matches exactly. Finishing a pattern card means that you get to move your knot token up by the number of spools on the card. In this case, 1. So the knot token moves to 6. If you finished a more difficult card, let's say this one with 2, or this one with 3, you'd move your spool or your knot token up 2 or 3 spots. Completing patterns is how you earn your thread length and work towards finishing your commissions. Every pattern that's completed works towards building out your embroidery motif. Now that we've drawn a little bit further in the game, you can see that the blue player has met the criteria for double-double. In this case, they're going to put their ribbon next to the commission as a reminder that they've met the criteria for it. The first player to complete 3 commissions, 1 per card, triggers the end of the game. Everyone finishes their current round, then it's time to count up the ribbons and see whose sampler impressed the nobles the most, taking home that contract. In the event of a tie, the person who triggered the end of the game wins the victory. And that's it, that's Holbein. You've learned how to set up, how to stitch, how to complete patterns, how to earn commissions, and how to finish your ribbons. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed playing Holbein. If you have any questions or you want to share your samplers, I'd love to see them. Until next time, and happy stitching, everybody!